And the first thing that I found very odd about, this Christian conservative company is they rented 2 stripper vans to take us out to the city. Once we got down to the bars in Arizona, they started getting us drunk.
Why is this all just feeling so the opposite of godly, almost satanic? Speaking literally of satanic. Many of you were emailing us regarding a certain board member at Turning Point USA.
But when you go after my family, my Turning Point USA family, my Charlie Kirk Show family, going after the people that I love because somehow they're in on this, no.
So Erika Kirk just started firing all TPUSA staff who spoke out against her, but it looks like she played herself because now you've got these former employees coming forward to expose Erika and TPUSA. And the stories they're telling are dark. We're talking allegations that senior TPUSA people were taking young members out to bars in stripper vans. And then there are claims that there were literal Satanists sitting on the advisory board and guiding Erika on how to carry on her husband's legacy. And that's not even the end of it. More disturbing stories are now surfacing about the people who infiltrated and took control of TPUSA and what they were doing behind the scenes. And once you hear what these whistleblowers claim was really going on, there's really no other way to describe it than demonic.
When Erika Kirk came in as leader, I don't even know how to explain it. The vibe just shifted, instantly.
So it looks like TPUSA is really scrambling to keep the truth from coming out because all of a sudden they started firing people with zero explanation. And apparently anyone who's criticized Erika Kirk's leadership in any way is getting cut. There's a video going around right from a young woman who says she was working 80 to 90 hours a week helping put together AmFest. She got called into the office thinking she was about to be recognized or thanked for all the work she put in, but instead she was fired on the spot by Frank Carney, TPUSA's general counsel.
This is crazy.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from.
No, and I know you're going to keep saying that. I understand.
Yeah.
I know that.
No, I know.
And I know there's probably no magic string of words that I could piece together to procure some type of answer, but yeah. I think on a surface level, I'm not going to walk out of here until I say my piece. I mean, y'all know this. I just worked a series of 80, 90-hour weeks plus for AmFest.
Yeah,
I've had no direction or explanation since we've come back. Our CEO has been assassinated. I've done nothing but bend over backwards for this organization to the point where I'm wondering if this is a prank.
It's not a prank. I would never do that.
So I'm just trying to understand. And
no, I understand. It's time to...
So do I get to have a conversation with Dylan? Do I get to have a conversation with Justin or anybody? Or
Nope.
No, and there's no explanation as to why I'm going to let go.
But here's the thing. Erika and TPUSA clearly didn't think this through because all these former employees are now coming forward and talking openly about the shady stuff they say they saw behind the scenes. One of the first to speak out was Joshua Peterson, who said TPUSA is nothing like the Christian traditional values organization it claims to be. According to Joshua, when he was first recruited, senior members literally hired stripper vans and took young recruits bar hopping, pressuring them to drink, even thought any of them were below the legal age.
I get paired up with these 2 specific people who I cannot name currently, but they take us out, and the first thing that I found very odd about, this Christian conservative company is they rented 2 stripper vans to take us out to the city. And then once we got down to the bars in Arizona, they started getting us drunk. The former reps were. And very drunk at that. And then they started singling out people, and they would pull them out one by one to go outside and smoke a cigarette. Now, when it was finally my turn to go and talk to them, they approached me and they asked me, hey, what are your views on Israel?
But it gets even weirder. According to Joshua, these senior members who tried to get him drunk were actually foreign agents who had infiltrated TPUSA.
What if we told you we're part of it? Israeli groups and forces. And I was like, can you work for Turning Point, right? And they were like, yeah, we do. We've been working for Turning Point for the past 4 or 5 years now. They were Israeli agents within Turning Point USA, and I knew that there were more as well. We did end up bringing it up to our administration at Turning Point that this was going on, and they said they would take care of it. And sure enough, nothing was done about it. And honestly, a huge red flag for a lot of us.
But it's not just foreign operatives who infiltrated TPUSA. According to Candace Owens' latest research, TPUSA also has literal Satanists sitting on its advisory board. So here's what Candace discovered. Retired Major General Paul E. Vallely, who was a close associate of Satanist Michael Aquino, is now a board member at TPUSA. Aquino, who was also a U.S. Army intelligence officer, founded the Temple of Set, a religious organization that split from the Church of Satan in the 1970s.
Now, who is Michael Aquino? Because this is where it gets interesting. Aside from being an intelligence officer and an expert of psychological warfare, just like Vallely, doing this on behalf of our military, he's also an open Satanist. Okay, this is not a satanic panic, this is history.
Now, why would someone like Paul Vallely be involved in TPUSA? Well, here's the smoking gun. Paul Vallely and Michael Aquino co-wrote this highly influential PSYOP paper called Mind War, where they argued that wars would be won by shaping beliefs and perceptions, not just fighting armies. In this paper, they talk about targeting enemies using media, propaganda, symbols, and ideology. And they also push the idea that PSYOP should be bold and direct, not sneaky. Mind War literally teaches advanced PSYOP techniques to change the minds of large groups of people. So isn't that exactly what TPUSA excels at? Is it just a coincidence that the associate of Satanist Michael Aquino sits on the TPUSA board? What's also interesting is that even before Candace exposed the connection between Aquino and TPUSA, people were already saying that something about the organization felt dark, and some were even calling it demonic and satanic. And this became an even bigger talking point after AmFest, when Erika Kirk approved setting up the tent where Charlie was murdered, complete with a ring light so people could take perfect selfies with it. And many people said this felt ritualistic, almost like they were mocking Charlie's death instead of grieving it. Someone on X wrote, "What TPUSA did with the death scene traumatized many. Too many. And that's what they intended. For the satanic god, they worship demands loose from the masses to feed itself. And they were all too happy to serve it up. Where's their concern for Charlie's parents?" And another user added, "AmFest was one big humiliation ritual towards Charlie. From the assassination tent to the people they had speak, it felt demonic. By the way, it was at AmFest that Erika made that weird comment about Charlie saying, once he was assassinated.
Once he was assassinated, once he was assassinated, once he was assassinated.
What a strange choice of words. Once makes you think of something you're expecting to happen, like it's planned or anticipated. It doesn't really fit with shock or loss, so it makes you wonder if this was just a slip of the tongue or a deliberate message. But that's not all. A lot of people said AmFest gave off sinister vibes and strange symbolism like triangles, swirling pentagrams, and a dark, mysterious figure in the center. So TPUSA claims to stand for Christian values, but there was nothing Christian about these visuals at AmFest. On top of that, the festival's logo featured 33 stars, and that number has a lot of symbolic weight in occult traditions. So is it just another coincidence that Kash Patel kept repeating they caught Charlie's shooter in exactly 33 hours?
The suspect was taken into custody at 10 p.m. local time. In less than 36 hours, 33 to be precise. In 33 hours, we have made historic progress for Charlie.
So when you start putting all of this together, there really isn't much that's actually Christian about TPUSA at this point. And people who have been to their events in the last few months are saying that even TPUSA faith gives off this really strange vibe, like they're not there to genuinely spread the word of God, or at least not a Christian God. One young woman recently went viral after posting a video where she talked about how disturbed she felt at a recent TPUSA faith event. And she said it made her realize that this organization has very little to do with real faith.
So right off the bat, this figure comes up and he begins by calling out Candace Owens and saying that she is evil and anti-Semitic and what she's doing is evil. On the way in, I basically got security checked 5 times because there was armed men standing everywhere. And he basically indirectly is saying we should support Israel because Jesus was a Jew and we wouldn't have Christianity without Judaism.
Now here's the part that not a lot of people want to talk about. Did Charlie know TPUSA was being infiltrated? Or was the organization built this way from the start? Some people are saying this isn't the TPUSA Charlie created, and that he'd be turning in his grave if he saw what it's become. But see, almost everyone in the powerful positions at TPUSA right now was either placed there by Charlie himself or by someone he hired. So what does that mean? Was Charlie just too naive and trusting? Was he ignoring the rot, trying to hide it, or was he completely oblivious? Well, that's for you to decide. But one thing almost everyone seems to agree on is that TPUSA is not Christ-centered. Instead, people are saying it's a grift, a show, a marketing machine, and maybe it's something even darker than that.